Why did you spill your beans, lad? That's right, folks. Today we're going to be doing a review on the LightHouse. And amazingly, this the film kind of brings me back because it was done in black and white. And my dad and I, we used to watch a lot of black and white movies. And one of them that I really enjoyed when I was a kid was The African Queen. But anyway, The LightHouse. It was a film that was actually took place on an island, and I guess was actually based on a true story from what Jordan was telling me. And the main actors are Robert Pattinson and William Dafoe. The reason I had to look that up is I am terrible with names. Great with faces, terrible with names. But when these guys were on the island, the premises of it was you'd have two lighthouse guards, and they'd go out to a lighthouse for three weeks, just to kind of keep it up and running, so that ships won't crash into it and whatnot. Like I said, it took place on an actual island where they were filming, and so they really got to feel whenever rain hit or whenever bad weather struck, they actually got to experience what they may have in real life. And it takes place in the movie. It took place in like the mid to late 1800s or so. So yeah. So a lot of the things that they did correlated with what they may have done back then, like bringing coal to the burner, which I assume was for either the lighthouse or the foghorns. I don't know. That was never something I really figured out. Some of the scenes were just when Defoe was yelling at Pattinson about doing his duties. I feel like he was actually being serious, like he was being serious. And if you don't remember, Pattinson was in Twilight, but amazing in this one. And some of the things that they do and say while they're in the bunkhouse, you can kind of see them, like, as they go throughout the movie, you can see them breaking down. Like, you can really see the solitude, and then just them two being in close quarters together, like, all the time. You can see that getting to them. And Pattinson, his character, having to do all the hard manual labor while the Defoe, he's just sat up in the lighthouse and just did unsettling things up in the lighthouse, to be honest, because my goodness. Yeah, there are some graphic scenes in this movie, I will be honest. Some of them I wasn't expecting, but when you're a guy and you're by yourself out in the middle of nowhere, yeah, you gotta have time for yourself, so to speak. But yeah, all throughout the movie, it's like you're going back and forth. It's like, well, is Defoe's character telling the truth, or is Pattinson's character telling the truth? It's a constant back and forth. Like, one of their characters had an alternate name from what he really was, and then the other one was lying about one thing, and the other one was lying about other things, and it's like it was a constant back and forth, and they were trying to figure each other out. Like, they're really trying to get a feel for each other and understand who's bad or who's crazy. And it turns out they're both crazy. I was talking about, like, seeing mermaids and hearing things and this, that, and the other. And so, and I mean, being out in the middle of an ocean on an island that you can't leave, that's terrifying. And that would definitely drive me crazy, to be honest. But, yeah, and the whole mermaid thing. And then Defoe started warning him about the seagulls. Now, Robert, his character, started noticing tons of seagulls swarming the island. And all throughout him working and whatnot. And, spoiler, I'm gonna spoil this one scene. he notices that he was working on the well for their water inside the bunkhouse, and he notices that there's a seagull in here, or in here, there, everywhere. And then he had been warned that the seagulls. I like this part of the movie. He was telling Defoe's character was telling him about all these different lore and myths and whatnot. Like, seagulls are the souls of sailors who met their maker. You know, if someone had been out in the ocean like that long, if someone had been out in the ocean that long, you know, or presumably had been out in the ocean and hearing all this stuff and then, you know, pretty well believing it, then yeah, I would take that advice to heart. So when Robert's character was out at the well, I'm getting there, folks. Hang on. When Robert's character was out at the well, he noticed the seagull that was down in it. Well, there's another one that ended up landing on the outside of it, and it was preventing him from grabbing, I think he was trying to grab it, the other one that was down in the well. And it was preventing him from doing so, from cleaning it out. He then grabs the seagull by the neck and starts bashing it on the outside of the well, on the rock of the well. And then the next, like a little cutscene or whatever, it shows the wind direction indicator thing. Yeah, it shifts. That was when I knew it's like, oh, hell, shit's about to get real. Defoe's character mentions that something about a nor'easter. Now, if you're not familiar with your weather lingo, or you know, it's a pretty horrific storm that's going to be coming their way. I mean that, and if you've seen it or you know haven't seen it, those kinds of storms will rip things apart. No joke. So, yeah, I thought that was, you know, what they say kind of correlates with what will happen. So, okay, so and then another one of the scenes, like when they were painting the lighthouse, you could actually, I could actually see them doing this, especially the way that they did it, lowering someone down from a rope. And then the most terrifying thing is you're reliant on that person to be there to, like, you know, your life is literally on the line. You know, you got that one person up top who is holding onto the rope so that you don't like slip and fall, you know. But what happens is one of them is like already like down on the line. He's like probably halfway down the lighthouse and he's painting, right, with a paintbrush on a pole, and it like he's lowering him down a little bit, and then all of a sudden the line jerks. He's like, hey, you know, what the heck? He's like, hey, don't be down there jerking on the line. And he's like, I'm not. So then it like jerks again, and then the line snaps, and it's like you can hear the like the terror in Robert's character. Robert was the one, yeah, his character was painting, but you can hear the terror in his voice as he falls. Like they made it believable, you know. That's just like the whole time throughout the movie, they made everything feel like it was to the era, it was to the time, and what they were doing made sense. So yeah, they made it feel very real and believable, and I appreciate that about this movie, because there's some historical movies out there, or just movies where they use certain aspects and it's just like they don't use them properly, and it's just like, why would you do this? It's like it makes me want to rip my beard out. Not really. I cherish this. I cherish this. I've been growing this out for a while, but not just for this, dang it. And I didn't just get this hat just to do this movie review either, so stop judging me. But no, the whole time I was watching it, I just felt like I was immersed. You know, I felt like I was actually watching history at work, kind of thing. I have a different scale than Jordan. It's more of an A, B, C, D, F for frig off A kind of thing. So I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. I'm definitely going to give it an A, an easy A, just because I enjoyed it so much. Black and white movies. I was explaining this to someone at work, like because I was explaining them the movie, and you can do so much more with black and white than you could color, because you're able to use dark spaces to your advantage in black and white movies. You don't have to alter it with editing so much. So, like if there's a shadow, a dark shadow, like a doorway or something, you can easily hide something in it using that kind of shading. So, yes, I think that'll do it. That was definitely... What the hell?